Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke. Rosemary, Maury Amsterdam, Larry Matthews, and Mary Tyler Moore.
Hello, Dick Van Dyke Show friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo. Today's episode is a look at my list of the best Laura Petrie moments of Season 3 of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Laura has a lot of excellent moments from Season 3. She continues to be a great character, so let's get started. Number 7 is The Life and Love of Joe Coogan. Now, this episode, Rob meets Laura's former beau, Joe Coogan, while he is at the golf course. He meets him, he goes home, and he tells Laura about this. Laura becomes very defensive in this episode, saying, "Oh, you were looking at my old love letters," but he just met him on the golf course. Laura becomes very reminiscent of the past with Millie and saying, "Why am I keeping these old love letters and these sonnets that Joe Coogan wrote to her? I have to let go of this past." So she goes to the golf course and she sees Joe Coogan. She learns that he became a priest. She invites him over for dinner, and Rob invites Sally over to meet him. Sally sees that Joe Coogan is a priest, and it turns out to be a very hilarious episode. Number 6 is October Eve. This episode is completely focused on Laura. Sally attended an art show and saw a painting that she thinks is a portrait of Laura. We don't see what this painting looks like, but we are led to believe that it's a nude painting. This embarrasses Laura. Rob goes and sees the painting. He's embarrassed. So we get the story of how this came to be, with Laura going to this painter who's played by Carl Reiner, the creator of the Dick Van Dyke Show. We get a great scene between them. Their interaction in this episode is really great. And this past December, CBS colorized this episode, so that was nice to see. But it all comes down to it that the painter wasn't really painting a very good portrait of Laura. This is the finished product. It's pretty great. Number 5 is Teacher's Petrie, a play on the word teacher's pet. This episode, Laura is attending a creative writing class. I love that as a creative writer myself. I really liked the idea of this episode. Laura becomes really enthusiastic about this class. She's the favorite. She's told she has a lot of talent, and she really likes this class and thinks that she's a writer. Actually, the teacher has a crush on Laura. He's flirting with her, and that's what makes this episode hilarious, but it's also just nice to see Laura really becoming her own character. It's really great. Number 4 is My Part-Time Wife. Another episode where Laura becomes more than just a housewife and a mother and a wife. She has talent. She can type really fast. And so Rob and Buddy hire her to be the typist while Sally is away. This episode becomes really funny because Laura keeps interrupting and adding her own opinions about the script and even adding some jokes. It's really great to see, but Rob doesn't really like it very much. But I have a clip of this scene, so enjoy.
Where do we go from there?
Well, I don't know. Let's ad lib some questions and see.
All right, I'll be a reporter.
Okay.
Doctor, what kind of a scientist are you?
Well, I am in charge of training astronauts. Wait a minute. Make that dirtronauts.
Hey, that's good. What's dirtronauts?
Well, they shoot these guys into the earth instead of out of it, see?
Now that's funny. Very good.
Thank you. Next question.
Doctor, what is the main danger in a trip of this sort?
What is the main danger in a trip of this sort? The main danger would be losing your life. That's pretty good main danger. What's the matter, Norm?
You want that last part in?
Now, wait a minute. Maybe she's right. Maybe we get something better. What is the main danger? Running into a thrill-crazed gopher.
That's marvelous.
Well, I don't. That's not so marvelous. Look, maybe we can come up with a better line than that. Come on, hit me again.
Well, maybe, what is your main purpose in going to the Earth's center?
All right. What is the main purpose in going to the Earth's center?
To find out whether it's chewy or chocolate cream.
Wait a minute. Now, look, I think we can come up with something better. Wait, hold it. We can do better than that.
But, darling, I think it's kind of cute.
You're not supposed to give reviews. You are supposed to type.
But Buddy thought it was funny, didn't you, Buddy?
Don't get me in the middle of husband and wife arguments.
What? This is not a husband and wife argument. This is boss and employee.
Well, then I'm sorry. I got to go with the employee.
Number 3 is Scratch My Car and Die. Another great episode. Rob recently bought a very expensive, nice car. It's like a sports car, and he's very enthusiastic about it. He wears a hat all the time. He thinks he's so cool. He doesn't want anyone to drive the car, but Laura has to borrow it because their station wagon is in the shop getting repaired. So she borrows it. She drives it out into the city, and she notices it has a scratch. She feels so embarrassed. She's scared to tell Rob because she knows he loves this car. And so the majority of this episode is Laura being scared and Millie comforting her and really them two coming up with ideas to get over this situation. And so I like this episode because Laura is really the focal point of it. It's really great. Number 2 is Too Many Stars. I really love this episode from season 3. It's one of my favorites. The community is putting on a show. Laura wants to be the star, of course. We get a great scene where everyone is auditioning, and then Laura does her little audition, and she demonstrates what she would do during the show, this Gold Rush Girls production. And I have a clip of the scene. It really showcases Mary Tyler Moore's talents so well.
Well, I'll do a dance, but I can't really do it here with the carpet. But I thought I'd wear a kind of a short Annie Oakley costume, and I'd start off standing on top of this big drum head, and I'll do a big leap off, right? And then I'll do a series of fauteuil turns. So it'd be fauteuil, 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 round here, and then a leap in the air, spin. And now this is the effective part. We turn and sell it with a look, right? So a pirouette, tour jeté, and finish with a series of chaînés and a big finish. Like that. That's
A toast to the star of our show.
only if I'm worthy.
You see, folks, the bigger they are, the nicer they are.
And while Laura did a really great job, there's a new woman in the neighborhood who is just as talented. And so Rob is torn. Laura wants to be the Gold Rush girl, but this other woman is clearly talented too. So what does he do? He casts both of them and they do a trio, and it's a great musical number. I love it. And my number 1 pick is Laura's Little Lie and Very Old Shoes, Very Old Rice. This is a 2-parter episode. The first part is really great with Laura. Rob and Laura have to fill out new insurance forms. Laura knows that your age has to be clarified. She's been keeping a secret from Rob all these years. She eventually has to tell him the truth. We get a great scene where Laura's very classic, her crying, where it's kind of hard to understand what she's saying. It's a great scene, and I have a clip of this, so enjoy.
You might as well tell me. You're not leaving here until you do. Honey, look, if it'll help you, Annie, I want you to know that no matter what it is, I'll love you just as much as I always have, which is considerable. Now, honey, what is it?
Oh, you just never forgive me. I know you won't. You just won't.
Honey, tell me what it is.
It's terrible. That's what it is. It's just terrible.
Well, honey, you can tell me. Look, does it have something to do with the insurance policy? Well, then, honey, tell me what it is.
I lied to you. Oh, Rob, all these years we said we'd never lie to each other. And I lied to
What? Sex female? You couldn't have lied about it. What? Age? You lied about your age?
Oh, Rob.
Oh, honey, come on now. It's not as terrible as that. Honey, a lot of women lie about their age. Oh, come on. Now, honey, tell me. How many years? 2 years. Okay, honey, please. Now, it just means that I didn't marry a blushing 19-year-old. I married a 21-year-old hag, huh? No! You mean I married a 17-year-old girl? It's not so... Look, I still love you, honey. Everything's going to be all right. Now, just relax. Everything's going to be fine.
I'm sorry, Rob. Well, I'm glad I finally told you.
Well, I can imagine you. I don't see how you kept a secret like that all these years, huh? Why did you think you had to lie about your age?
Well, because you probably wouldn't have married me if you knew I was only 17.
It might have scared me a little bit. I was scared enough as it was.
And we couldn't have gotten a marriage license if I'd put down my right age, so...
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh, boy.
What's the matter?
Oh, boy.
The second part of this is when Rob and Laura have to get married for real. Their marriage license has to be accurate. So they go get married, but they argue during this episode. Rob wants to get back to the office. Laura wants to have a second honeymoon. And so they bicker the whole time, and it's like, are they really going to get married? But of course, Rob and Laura are meant for each other, and so they end up getting married, and it's a really nice episode. I enjoy it a lot. And that's it. That's all I have for you this week. I love Laura. There are so many great moments that feature her. Whenever she is in a scene, it's always a little better. She's always there for Rob. She's a good wife, a good mother, a great friend, but she's also always wanting to be involved in any kind of situation. She's a really great character, and season 3 really showcases that. Let me know what your favorite episode is, and I'll be happy to read that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. And remember to always laugh often.